Is it possible to have inner peace while also experiencing financial uncertainty? Is it possible for a type A woman like myself to focus on being instead of doing, in avoiding the grind and sitting with grace while feeling financially insecure? That is exactly what I want to explore today. Welcome to the Blueprint Breakers podcast. What is a blueprint breaker? If you live your life outside the typical traditional lifestyle blueprint, you are a blueprint breaker. We are here to start a conversation, to assemble resources, and to build a community. This podcast is for empowered women in midlife and beyond who are preparing for a powerful next era of life. My name is Amy A. Palmer. I am your host and facilitator for our conversations. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. To stay connected, up to date, and to receive all of our free resources and gifts along the way, join us at community.blueprintbreakers.com. This whole idea of being versus doing and finding that inner peace and finding that connectiveness and being centered and being in alignment while also navigating some of the ups and downs of life is a huge lesson for me. It has been for the last couple of years since my sabbatical, and particularly how it shows up with finances. 2.5 years ago, when I took my 90-day sabbatical, and I had a lot of healing to do. I was in a really bad place, and so I was trying to get from bad to good, struggling to normal. And I was definitely able to do that. I focused on my healing, and I was able to not be anxious about not having a steady paycheck coming in, not having a steady financial plan in place, all of that. I was able to stay calm during that time, but primarily because I had spent a couple of years building a financial cushion for myself to enable me to be able to do that. So I knew, because I know myself, I knew I had to have that in order to have the healing that I needed to have. And as this season of my life, this pure season of exploration and journey and finding myself, or like refinding myself, getting back to who I am, all of that, as it's continuing over time and as the journey keeps unfolding, the ups and downs of the practical parts of life just keep showing up, particularly the financial pieces. It's easy for me to stay in flow, to stay centered, to stay positive, to stay energized. It's easy for me to do that when I have a strong financial foundation there in place. When it's not easy is when that financial foundation starts to crack or starts to weaken or disappears altogether. And I suspect that's not just me. I mean, based on conversations that I have with so many people, it's not just me, but it's part of the lesson that I'm trying to learn. I believe that when something is continuously coming up as a fear or as a source of anxiety, or it's manifesting itself in your body in any physical way, that is a sign of something that needs to be looked at, something that needs to be healed, something that you need to expand on or dive into or sit with or whatever. And it's repeatedly coming up as a theme. I mean, throughout my life, the financial piece has always been there. And in the most recent years, it's how do I translate that into the new version of my life that I've created? How do I still stay focused and connected and joyful and open and excited and everything, while those old fears and those old, negative messages are still playing out in my head? So to give you a little context on why and how it's showing up for me currently, my current financial situation. I am still loving the work that I'm doing with women. I'm loving the message that we're getting out there. I'm enjoying the growth of the podcast and getting sort of the Blueprint Breakers theme and our three truths, and just really spreading the word and connecting with other women, helping them to feel seen, heard, understood, represented. My mission, my passion, my goal, I 100% am still enjoying the passion of that work. And, I just wrapped up the first cohort of my Stuck to Stellar group program. And I'm in awe of the women who showed up and how they showed up and the effort that they put in. And I got so much fulfillment and so much validation that the work that I'm doing is needed, and that the women that I'm serving are looking for resources and answers and support, etc. So I am 1000% on board with the direction that I'm going. Blueprint Breakers podcast is not monetized to a point where it can financially support me. It can't financially support my regular expenses, not to mention future planning and future preparation. So I have this whole section of my business that takes my heart, my soul, my energy, my time, etc., but it's not really putting food on the table. And I'm still fully nomadic, which in many ways helps me financially. I'm able to continue to count on the support of family and friends, which has been amazing. So I've minimized my living expenses, but this can't go on forever. And in this manner, I do want to have a home base at some point. I do want to be fully financially prepared for retirement. I have about another decade before that it is in front of me. So I have financial needs, and a big area of my business is not necessarily serving those needs. And typically, historically, my response would be um, fear, nervousness, anxiety, all the way over into shutting down, and could even lead into depression. And in previous times in my life where I've faced similar worries, that's what's happened. And then I typically pivot off of whatever I'm doing and go back to what I know will just fulfill those financial needs. Like I'll just throw everything out the window and make all of my decisions based on where the money's coming from and how can I generate money. Now, mind you, I think that there's a time and a place when we're in survival mode when that does happen. I'm trying to learn how to still be more centered, still focus more on being. I don't want to lose the growth that I've had, and I want to continue to expand and up level while experiencing the uncertainty. So I have another part of my business, the Blueprint Makers part of my business, where I pull from all of my corporate expertise, and I get clients for short-term project assignments, and I utilize my sales experience and expertise, my expertise in operations and leadership development, and in building curriculum and training programs. So that has been how I've been funding the Blueprint Breakers business, and how I've been covering my own living expenses at the same time. And it's not consistent. It's not recurring at this point. It's project based. So there's times in between. There was a time right over the holidays where I had wrapped up projects from a couple of clients, and I had no new clients on the horizon, and no new projects on the horizon from the Blueprint Maker business. And so I had no idea where my next funds were coming from to cover my expenses. So that was all happening right around Christmas and right around when I had my New Year's trip planned. So my lesson that I worked through then during that time was, how do I navigate all of that? How do I navigate the anxiety? How do I let it fuel me without shutting me down? I don't want to give you the wrong idea. I don't have all the answers for that yet. I'm just sharing my experience to see if there's any particular nuggets that you can pull from it and apply to anything that you might be facing now. As a result of that, I recognized that I needed to stop with this whole feeling. All my life there was, when I achieve blank, then I can do blank, or then I can feel this way. Then I can be more energized to do this. Then I could be leading my best life and be the best version of myself. As soon as I have this financial threshold taken care of, then I can experience all these other beautiful parts of life. And the lesson that I'm deconstructing currently and have been for the last couple of years is no more if then. It needs to happen concurrently. I need to be able, for me, I need to be able to experience that balance, that growth, that optimism, that mindset, that alignment, that inner peace, while also facing those challenges, while also going through the ups and downs and the peaks and valleys of just life. Now, for me, the lesson is directly connected to finances. It could be something else for you. It could be health related. I've had that at different types of my in my life. As soon as this particular health problem is gone, then I can focus on good feelings. Then I can experience joy and happiness. So it's waiting for something to happen before you allow yourself to feel this other stuff, this other good stuff. So in this season, it's around the finances. And so that's why I'm using that example. And I mentioned how it has exposed for me an opportunity for where I need to put my attention and do a little bit of uncovering. And it's really uncovering my issues and challenges around scarcity and abundance. I have definitely had a scarcity mindset, particularly around finances, but around other things as well. Normally, I've never been in fear of losing everything. I've never been in fear of being out on the streets and unhoused and, not having my basic needs met. And that is due to the fact that I have people in my life that are there for me and that I know in my heart would be and could be there for me. So I've never experienced the scarcity mindset to that extreme. It's always been a little bit of a just enough. I feel like I was raised with a financial expectation of just enough, not necessarily suffering too much without, but not getting too far ahead. And there's a lot of psychological reasons behind that. There's a lot of stories behind that. Like it almost felt the message that I received is that it's like a negative thing if you get too far ahead. If you're too financially comfortable, that means that, somehow you're a bad person, or, there was like a morality attached to it. And so that has been in my head throughout my life. But I always just felt like I would just scrape by. And so I've gotten very comfortable with that scraping by piece. And even in times when I was earning a lot of money, like I had a good chunk of my adult life where I had a consistent, very healthy amount of money coming in. I would manage to still not have a lot left over. I like I didn't I was not good at saving. I was not good at building a cushion. It was almost like I would sabotage myself financially so that I always had just enough. Never struggling, never too far ahead. Never struggling, never too far ahead. And I'm ready to stop that cycle. I'm ready to be open to full abundance. I am ready to be financially abundant. I am financially abundant. I'm speaking it in the present term as I speak it into existence, into the universe, and learning how to navigate the uncertain times, the unstable times, and still remain connected to my goal, my passion, my mission, etc. That's the season that I'm in. That's what I'm learning right now. And I have my good days, I have my tougher days, I have good weeks and tougher weeks, but way better. I see the improvement over where I was years ago. What brings this all top of mind right now is last week, I was put to the test. My dreams were put to the test. Everything that I think that I learned from about myself and for myself for the last 2 years was put to the test. My ego was tempted. Past hurts and traumas were tempted. So what happened? I was contacted about a role, a significant role, a CEO role in a company in an industry similar to what I was doing before. So the role itself is very closely matched to my past corporate experience and what I've done with building businesses before. And I tell you, I had so many different emotions going on in my head and heart simultaneously. I couldn't even keep up with them. I had not realized how much I had not fully healed from the fact that I let go of my corporate goal and dream. I was grinding and grinding so hard for that C-level suite role. And I felt that I had deserved it. I felt that I was overdue to have it. I felt that I was overlooked in different aspects. And ultimately, I felt like I failed because I didn't get it. So even though leaving corporate, taking that sabbatical, deciding I didn't want to go back to corporate, it's become clear to me that there was a part of me that still labeled that as a failure. And I was struggling with that piece, even though I had sort of like taken it and put it aside while I work on my healing and stuff. Having this opportunity put before me recently, there was this part of that my ego was on fire when it happened. I was like, yes, yes, I knew it. I told you I'm right for that role. That role is right for me. I can do that. I am strong enough. I'm good enough. I'm great enough. All the I am enough, all the worthy stuff. My ego was just like ablaze and excited about that. And the parts of me that have been navigating financial uncertainty right now for my present and my future, very, very tempting to take on a healthy, consistent paycheck again. Many levels of temptation all coming at me at the same time, and my feelings about that all happening at the same time. But while it was happening, there was no part of me that said I want to move forward with this opportunity. Like, not for 1 second did I want to say yes to this opportunity. I kept connecting to where I've been finding my joy and where I've been finding my fulfillment and where I've been finding my optimism for the future these past few years. That was strong and rooted and grounded in the foundation. And oh my God, I'm feeling emotional about it all of a sudden, but it was just validation that this crazy path that I've taken, that this pivot that I've made has been the right thing to do. It has been the right direction. It's been the right thing. God. The The faith and belief that I was feeling in myself, in my choices, and in my decision was solid, even if it didn't make sense logically. Ah, okay. I think I am finally able to fully embrace the reality that letting go of a previous goal, a previous dream that I'm still not really sure why it was a goal or a dream. I'm finally able to embrace the fact that that was not a failure. It was another step in my evolution. It was another step forward, step upward, step onward in my growth as a human being. And I may not be 100% there yet, but I've just fast forwarded, taken a big leap forward in these last couple of weeks since I was faced with this temptation. So all this to say, I do think it is possible to have inner peace while experiencing financial uncertainty. And I do believe it is possible for a type A driven, ambitious woman like myself to live in the flow, to focus on being more so than doing, to let go of the grind while feeling financially insecure. And I'm going to share with you what I think it takes to be able to do that. And I have to add this one little caveat first. I'm not saying that life should be all woo woo. Like, I'm not saying that it's all about the law of attraction. It's all about positive mindset. It's all about relaxing into your feminine and letting go of your masculine. I'm not saying it's all of that and that you can just completely let go and let God, as many like to say. I feel that all of that, all of those elements, all of those beliefs are contributing factors. I do believe that action is involved. I do believe that if there's somewhere you want to get to, or there's an experience you want to have, or there's a life that you're trying to create, it does require action. I don't think it requires hard work. Hard work. The way that I'm thinking about hard work, I spent years and years working hard. And that was the grind. That is running on that hamster wheel, working long hours all day, every day, checking off boxes, doing what you're quote supposed to do, taking care of all the shoulds on your list. The intense feeling of got to do this, can't stop, got to keep going. That is hard work. Hard work affects you mind, body, and soul, not in a great way. It affects your health. It affected my health, my mental health, my physical health, etc. The type of action that I believe that it requires to still expand and to grow while facing uncertainty and everything, consistent work, persistent work. You know, that whole slow and steady wins the race, the whole turtle and the hare thing. I mean, those are stories for a reason. I think steady movement forward, steady growth, being open to learning, continuing, staying persistent, not giving up. That, for me, I believe that's the key. And that's the state that I'm working to absorb and to embody. There are four things that I feel are necessary to have in order to reach this balanced state of experiencing the inner peace while dealing with external uncertainty. And the four things that you need, it's flow, FLOW. F is faith, faith in whatever higher spiritual power you believe in, God, your highest, best self, whatever it is, faith in yourself and in your higher power, and learning how to tap into that faith and being really connected to that faith. L is love. Love for yourself, love for the people in your life, being willing to continue to nurture love between you and the people around you so that you can pour into them, they can pour into you. And when you have that love, then you feel confident that there's somebody that can catch you when you fall, and you'll be there to catch somebody else when they fall. So focusing on the love. O is openness, staying open to what is coming your way. And that can take place in people who you hear from that you haven't heard from in a while, or new people that you happen to meet. There could be a reason why. Just being open to the signs, the messages, open to how things unfold, open to opportunities that get presented in front of you, open to trying new things and planting seeds out there on a consistent, persistent basis to see what grows, to see what comes of it. That openness helps you stay connected. And last but not least, the W is wonder, having a sense of wonder. And that requires a little bit of being able to step back and watching the whole thing from a sense of curiosity, having an open, positive mindset about the whole experience and being curious about what's happening and why is it happened and what can happen next. So having a sense of wonder as you're approaching your goals in life and in moving forward. FLOW, faith, love, openness, wonder. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Blueprint Breakers podcast, Money and Inner Peace. Thank you, the listener, for listening. Thank you for your 5-star ratings. Please share this episode with a friend. And if you want to join our community, please join us at community.blueprintbreakers.com. Have a great week. Keep on breaking those blueprints and writing your own.